it's not really a part of the picture. But because it's left to your interpretation and your imagination and filling in the details, it reminds you of that.
Arms up and get juice again? I don't think so. Maybe we should say, what?
Well, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Son of a gun, indeed. It is a Monday morning? Question mark? It is Monday morning, definitely. The second day of a new week, or the first day of a new week, or however you look at it, it's all thumbs up. It is gray, diffuse light outside. It's probably going to get sunny again later. You know, it does that all done on and off all day. Yay. I slept moderately well. You know, didn't pop awake during the middle of the night often. And so, yay, up at 5:30, of course, discomfort and all that. But that's okay. At least I slept. A very good thing. And of course, front-loading of videos. Hey, if you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, that would be very, very cool. And of course, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons, these beautiful and awesome people that are literally beautiful and awesome. I need to update this list. My executive dysfunction is terrible. My sincere apologies. But these people, whether or not they're actual still contributors and patrons, and whether or not I've put new people on there, are beautiful and awesome people. My executive dysfunction will hopefully let me get that done today. Hopefully. So thumbs up and thank you. If you'd like to become a patron, there are links in the video description. Thumbs up for that. If you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, there are links to a PayPal. And if you'd like to help me out without sending money, there are links to an Amazon wishlist link with stuff like cat food on it. So hey, thumbs up and front loading of videos over. Yay! YouTube algorithms. Taking a look at my list, not a whole lot. I had a massive amount of falling asleep problems yesterday. Oh joy. And the problem with when I start to feel sleepy enough that I'm going to have sleeping issues, it's like a stealth attack. By the time I realize that I'm tired, my brain has been altered enough by the we're going to sleep now that I am unable to make good decisions, like I should get up and take a nap. No, it's I'll just try and push through and then I fall asleep. And if I stop breathing, oh joy. So that's fun. A lot of that happened yesterday. But that's okay. I still managed to remember a fair amount of the things that I was thinking about, not talking about. So that's a good thing as well. I think I took my med yesterday. I can't remember if I took my ADHD meds yesterday. I did take them this morning though, so that's maybe good. I think I didn't yesterday, so doing it today is every other day, as I'd mentioned, hopefully good. Here's a hoping. But still, such is life. There are some things that I did want to talk about just because of things that I've thought about and things that I have been thinking about other stuff. One of the things down on my list, I have to remember all this, is if you've ever seen the movie Soylent Green or heard of the movie Soylent Green, or you've seen the memes, certainly, you know, it's where the guy is yelling, Soylent Green is people. That was made from a book called Make Room, Make Room way back in the 60s or 70s or even earlier. And then they made the movie Soylent Green, and now it's just a whole bunch of memes because while it was a moderately interesting movie, I don't know how well it holds up today. One of the things, though, is you're supposed to be horrified at the revelation in the movie that the food product that the government is giving out now, Soylent Green, because they gave out new types of, there was Soylent Blue, Soylent Yellow, Soylent all this, as they had to keep making new things because of overpopulation in the world, trying to feed people, so the government was just issuing Soylent products. The latest one was Soylent Green, and as it turns out, Soylent Green was made out of people. Because of the overpopulation problems, you could go into suicide booths and such like that and terminate your own life. You know, the stuff that we see in Futurama is a joke now, but it was a horror back in the 70s and such when this movie was made. But as it turns out, again, the revelation is that Soylent Green is made out of people, and that's supposed to be the horror of it. And my horror of it wasn't that it's made out of people. That wasn't an issue. It still isn't for me. It's the consent part. Even then, back then, it bothered me that there were times with no consent, because there would be riots, food riots and such from people, and then the government would send in these things, we know, machines gathering up people and all this, and people just gathering up and getting rid of the protesters. Revelation being later on that they weren't just taken away, they were taken away and then processed into Soylent Green. My issue again on that is just that no consent. That's my problem with it. I see no issues at all with using human beings as a food source. That's not a problem. But it's just, you need informed consent. You don't have consent, and you don't enforce that it only can be informed consent. Then what you have is the people in charge targeting those that they don't like. And that's bad. So it has to be consent. You leave it in the hands of politicians and such, and they're just going to be targeting minority groups and the like. And if you just eat them all, then the problem's gone, isn't it? So it has to be informed consent. So yay on that. Ethically sourced human meat. Good and good for you. Just do not eat the brain or the spinal column. There are the folded proteins that cause the, like 20 some odd years ago, there was a big thing about the mad cow disease, bovine spongiform encephalopathy. Well, there is the equivalent of human beings, a malformed folded protein that if you eat that, a prion, and it gets into your body, it will destroy your own brain. And this stuff is inside of our nervous systems. And so don't eat a human brain, don't eat a human nervous system, none of those things. You don't want the prions. Ooh, danger. And prions, of course, being proteins that are just malformed and malfolded, you can't get rid of them like you would with a bacteria. They're just proteins. And so some of them are really, really resistant. They're not bacteria, they're part of us. Yay. But on that hand, I also wanted to talk about, I have been thinking about, because I was playing with the mini DALL-E artificial intelligence machine language picture generator before it got really popular and became hard to use now. But I like a lot the mini DALL-E AI machine language image generator, which takes just a prompt and makes pictures. It's very crude. The pictures that they make are sometimes pretty good, but largely nightmare fuel, because the routines are not really good at making things like human faces and such like that. They have the new routines and programs out there that can take a prompt and make art, actual art, and it is amazing what you can get. But of the two, I prefer the mini DALL-E type because they're so crude. They become like David Lynch films, dream logic. You're not supposed to intellectualize what you're seeing. You're supposed to feel what you are seeing. When you put... I think my hamster woke up. I'm not sure. Something went skittling in the hamster cage. But when you give a prompt to the higher order machine language routines and they come up with a really nice picture, what's happening is you give them a prompt and then they give you, here's the interpretation of your prompt. This is what we get. And that's nice. It's nice to see what the routines can come up with. I prefer the mini DALL-E type because when you look at it, it's more, here's what I came up with. What do you see? What is your interpretation of what I have produced? And I like that. It's more of the impressionistic type paintings. It's more of the, when you see an idyllic house, it's not rendered in a fully realistic form, so that when you notice the shadowy figure that isn't right in the corner, it's even more disturbing because you don't see exactly what it is. And then your imagination and brain starts filling in details. Oh, that's so much better. Because you can put the prompt to the new routines again, and it'll say, here's what we see. Here's the interpretation. And then you may get back something from the mini DALL-E. And when you look at it, the picture that it's made, it looks sort of like people, enough like people that you get the image and the impression. But it might also be that the little impression of people and things kind of reminds you of, oh, you haven't thought about this for a long time, but you used to have a dream as a kid, and there was something that looked kind of like that, and you had nightmares about this for a long time, and you've thought about it off and on, and now you're being reminded of that, and maybe your heart beats a little bit harder, and you feel just a little bit something. It's not really a part of the picture, but because it's left to your interpretation and your imagination and filling in the details, it reminds you of that. And you feel that unease underneath. Oh, you give me that picture for me to put my interpretation into it. Oh, I love that horror. Especially, I made a bunch of pictures that were like Kermit doing this, that, or the other for a while, and I'm still doing it now. I've had a fascination with using blood clots doing this, that, or the other, and using a picture of trying to say, Kermit eating a bowl of blood clots. It would show just a picture of like Kermit, but this large red tongue in its mouth. So it looked just like Kermit was standing there, or sitting, and talking with a big wet mouthful of blood. Blood in someone's mouth bothers me. It always has. If you want to show me an interpretation of horror or pain or suffering, you show me someone that has blood on their teeth from internal bleeding, either inside of their mouth or deeper. Oh, that really hits me personally deep. Blood in someone's mouth just makes me go, oh. So when the thing is showing me all these pictures of Kermit with a big old mouthful of blood, yeah, leaving that up to my interpretation, there's a lot of horror in that maybe a lot of others would not see. But oh my God, these are dark for me. So yeah, leave me the mini DALL-E where you look at it and you go, oh, I don't really like that. Yeah, I like the mini DALL-E picture generator a lot. So thumbs up on that. Also, just as a weird aside, I have seen this as a go-to product, a do-it-yourself home crafting stuff, where people do felting. I still don't understand how home felting works when you just take like wool and then you stab it with a needle. Just one needle. You just stabbing all these keratin threads with the needle, and because you're stabbing it, it becomes a soft and fluffy wad. I've tried to see, does it break up the keratin strands, the wool, so that it's got more loose break parts coming out of it that tangle up with the other loose break parts of other pieces? Is that what the needling does? Or is it just sort of shoving the pieces together? I don't understand how it works. You can get a pocket full of fluff, just regular wool, dyed wool or non-dyed wool in little packets. And then you can just take a needle and stab the wool, and it becomes felt, all felted together. And I want to know how that process works, And I did some Googling, and I still am not sure why and how, and that's bothering me. And I just wanted to point that out. I have been thinking, of course, of creative stuff, the inside-outside razor's edge. But with my falling asleep, with everything that's happening, my fears of being kicked off of SSI because I still can't get hold of them, I'm going to try and call the local social security office to see if they can give me any points, tips on what I should do. Because I have been trying for ever since I got this letter to call them daily on the number, the only way they give me to contact them, and you can't. I don't want to get kicked off SSI and die, not because I have done something wrong, but because they won't let me talk to them. This one's going to go fast, but I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, and I'm going to thank the very, very few people that left me comments in the past 24 hours. I got a lot of views on my videos, especially my last Daggerfall video, like almost 200 views, 0 comments. So nobody's been leaving me any comments at all, so I don't know if I'm doing good, bad, or indifferent. But if I mispronounce the names of the very few people that left me comments, my apologies. And even though I count, and I gotta do it right, American Sign Language, I can still get lost. I am appreciative of anybody who leaves me a comment. It is not a requirement. No one needs to. No one has to. So when people do, thank you. It doesn't matter if it's one person or 55. It is awesome that people leave any comments at all. So thumbs up and thank you all. I don't know what I was just trying to say. I was going to say, like, let me Chrome to my Chrome. That doesn't make sense. JAYY, thumbs up and thank you. Jesse Koskinen, oh, it is. It's fun. Oh, but good to see you in the comments. Patrick Wilkinson, thumbs up and thank you very much. Marlon Wolfgang, thank you very, very much. And I've come to recognize your name. Thank you for being in the comments. It is appreciated. Ben B, thumbs up and thank you. It's good to see you in the comments as well, my friend. And that is it. The 5 people that left me comments in the past 24 hours. It is appreciated for honest and for true. Thank you so very, very much. Well, hey, I'm going to try and fight through my executive dysfunction and get stuff done. And so hopefully I can. Hopefully I can get in contact with the people that I need to, because I don't want to die. I'm not even 60 yet. So I don't want to die yet. So hopefully I can get done the stuff that I need to get done. Hopefully you can get done the things that you need to get done on this day of days. But again, if you can't, survival mode. If you can't do it, live through the day. Try again the next day. Don't kill yourself. And speaking of death, with the covfefe bug still raging, there are still people dying every day. There is a surge still going on in the US. It's just that luckily it's not being accompanied by a huge amount of human death. But there's a lot of human suffering happening because of this. You don't need to check out of life and toss your body onto the end-of-life corpse pile early. You don't need to cripple yourself by getting this thing and suffering long covfefe bug the rest of your life. Take appropriate precautions, be smart, do what you have to, and please, if you haven't, get vaxxed and boosted. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.